When you think of orcas, you probably picture their intelligence, tight family bonds, and their role as the ocean's top predator. These magnificent creatures, often referred to as killer whales, are known for their complex social structures and sophisticated hunting techniques. They are apex predators, meaning they have no natural enemies, and sit at the very top of the marine food chain. But what if these brilliant animals suddenly started behaving in ways no one expected, actively targeting boats? Imagine the shock and confusion among sailors and marine biologists alike. This isn't just a rare occurrence, it's becoming a pattern that has everyone puzzled. Since 2020, off the coasts of Spain and Portugal, sailors have reported intense physical encounters with orcas, unlike anything seen before. These interactions are not just fleeting moments but prolonged and aggressive engagements that leave boats damaged and crews shaken. These weren't just curious glances, these were deliberate, repeated interactions with orcas ramming and damaging vessels. The force and frequency of these encounters suggest a level of intent and coordination that is both fascinating and alarming. The phenomenon is so concentrated and unusual that it's baffled scientists and sailors alike, raising a big question: why? What could be driving these intelligent creatures to act out in such an unprecedented manner? Various theories have been proposed, ranging from changes in their environment to possible trauma or learned behavior. Orcas have coexisted with boats for centuries, rarely showing aggression toward humans. Historically, these interactions have been peaceful, with orcas often seen swimming alongside vessels without incident. This sudden focused behavior is a mystery that challenges everything we thought we knew about these animals. It forces us to reconsider our understanding of orca behavior and their interactions with the human world. As we dive in, we'll explore the encounters, the orcas involved, and the leading theories behind this real-life wildlife puzzle. Join us as we unravel the mystery and seek to understand what is driving these majestic creatures to act in such an extraordinary way. The story begins in the spring of 2020, in the bustling, churning waters of the Strait of Gibraltar, a narrow passage that connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. This is one of the world's busiest maritime crossroads, where hundreds of ships, ferries, and fishing boats pass through every single day, creating a constant hum of human activity. Stretching out from this strait are the wild Atlantic coasts of Spain and Portugal, a region known for its rugged beauty and rich marine life. These waters are not just a thoroughfare for ships, they're also home to some of the ocean's most fascinating and elusive creatures. Among them is the critically endangered Iberian orca subpopulation. Numbering only about 40 individuals, these orcas are genetically distinct from other orca populations around the world. They've evolved to specialize in hunting bluefin tuna, a challenging and highly prized prey that demands intelligence, teamwork, and speed. Their survival is already precarious, making every member of the pod vital to the group's future. But in 2020, this small, unique group of orcas began to attract global attention for a completely unexpected reason. News outlets and social media lit up with reports of strange, targeted interactions between these orcas and passing boats, especially sailboats and yachts. Sailors described tense encounters. Orcas, sometimes working in groups, would approach vessels and repeatedly ram or bite at the rudder, the part of the boat that steers. These weren't random bumps, there was a clear focus and intent, as if the orcas were trying to disable the boats. Over 700 such incidents have been documented since these interactions began, turning the region into a living laboratory for marine scientists and conservationists. Researchers have flocked to the area, eager to observe and understand this unprecedented behavior. The encounters can last for more than an hour, with orcas seen communicating, coordinating, and working together in sophisticated ways. Despite the damage to boats, the orcas have never shown aggression toward humans on board, suggesting a remarkable level of control and purpose in their actions. Even in the rare cases where boats have sunk, the orcas have left the people completely unharmed. Their focus seems to be entirely on the vessels themselves, not the humans inside, deepening the mystery of their motivations. What's truly remarkable is that this phenomenon is unique to the Iberian orca group. Nowhere else in the world have orcas been observed behaving this way, making the situation off the Iberian coast a global scientific puzzle. The environment here is especially challenging for these orcas. The constant roar of ship engines, the crowded shipping lanes, and the competition for dwindling fish stocks all add up to a stressful and noisy habitat. These mounting pressures, overfishing, noise pollution, and the relentless presence of humans may hold important clues to why these orcas, and only these orcas, have started to push back against boats in such a dramatic way. As the world watches and scientists search for answers, the mystery deepens. What drives these intelligent social animals to interact with boats in this way? The answers may lie hidden beneath the waves, in the unique and ever-changing world off the Iberian coast. So, what actually happens during these orca encounters? When sailors report these incidents, the stories are both dramatic and unnerving. The ocean, usually a place of calm or adventure, suddenly becomes a stage for a tense standoff between human and whale. Imagine sailing off Portugal, the sun setting on the horizon, when a group of orcas appears out of nowhere. At first they might seem curious, swimming alongside your boat, but then they begin to nudge, and soon they ram your vessel with surprising force. The thuds echo through the hull, and you realize you're at the center of a remarkable and potentially dangerous encounter. Their focus is almost always the rudder, the steering fin beneath the boat. It's as if they know exactly where to strike to immobilize the vessel, targeting the most vulnerable part with uncanny precision. Orcas bite, wrench, and even snap rudders off, often working together in a coordinated effort. Sometimes several orcas will take turns, each one testing the rudder's strength, pulling and twisting until it finally gives way. The result? About 20% of incidents leave boats disabled, unable to steer or move. In rare but dramatic cases, a few boats have even sunk, leaving their crews stranded and in need of rescue. Once the rudder is broken or the boat stops moving, the orcas seem to lose interest. They simply swim away, leaving behind a trail of confusion and damage. It's as if their mission is complete. The pattern is consistent, methodical, controlled, and always centered on the rudder. Each encounter follows a similar script, suggesting a learned behavior rather than random aggression. It's not random aggression but a repeated, purposeful action. The orcas seem to know exactly what they're doing, and they repeat the same tactics on different boats time and time again. For sailors, these encounters are not just frightening, they can be life-altering. The fear of losing control at sea, the cost of repairs, and the uncertainty of what the orcas will do next, all add to the stress and anxiety. For sailors it's terrifying and costly. Many are left shaken, unsure if they'll ever feel safe on the water again. For scientists, it's a fascinating behavioral puzzle. Why are these orcas so fixated on rudders? What drives this unusual behavior and how did it start? Why the rudder? Why this group? The answers remain elusive, and each new encounter only deepens the mystery. But one thing is clear, this is no ordinary animal encounter. It's a rare and remarkable interaction, one that challenges our understanding of orca intelligence and the complex relationship between humans and the wild ocean. At the center of this story is a matriarch known as White Gladys. She's often present during these boat interactions, sometimes leading, sometimes observing. Scientists believe she may have started this behavior, with younger orcas learning by watching her. Orcas are social learners. Behaviors can spread quickly through a pod if a respected elder initiates them. If White Gladys began targeting boats, it's likely her family followed suit. But why did she start? Some think a traumatic encounter with a boat or fishing gear may have triggered her actions. By attacking rudders, she could be trying to neutralize a perceived threat. What began as one orca's response may have become a tradition, passed down through the pod. The leading theory is trauma and revenge. White Gladys may have suffered a painful encounter with a boat or fishing gear, changing her perception of vessels from neutral to dangerous. Her actions, ramming hulls, breaking rudders, could be a defensive response, an attempt to prevent future harm. Younger orcas observing her learn to confront boats and break rudders, even if they don't understand the original trauma. This behavior spreads as a cultural tradition within the pod. The theory highlights the impact of human activity, busy shipping lanes, fishing pressure, and the scars many orcas carry. It's not so much an attack as a response to a world filled with threats. The orcas' actions may be a direct consequence of the pressures we put on their environment. Trauma, learning, and survival are all intertwined in this unfolding story. But what if it's not about trauma at all? Another theory suggests it's just play. Orcas are famously intelligent and playful, especially juveniles. Scientists have seen orcas invent fads before, like carrying dead salmon on their heads. The boat bumping could be a new game, with rudders acting as interactive toys. The sensation of moving a rudder or spinning a wheel might be fascinating for a curious orca. Many involved are juveniles, the age group most prone to playful mischief. White Gladys might simply be supervising, not instigating. If it's a game, it's a destructive one for sailors. But for orcas, it could be just another way to pass the time. Sometimes the simplest explanation is that they're just having fun. There's a third theory, boredom. Orcas have huge, complex brains and need constant stimulation. In a changing, noisy ocean, traditional enrichment may be lacking. A moving sailboat with its responsive rudder becomes a novel puzzle. This isn't just play, it's self-enrichment, a way to challenge their minds. The rudder is like an oceanic Rubik's Cube, and breaking it is a satisfying challenge. This theory suggests the orcas are actively seeking out new experiences. It's a sign of their intelligence, but also a warning. Brilliant animals need a stimulating world. If their environment can't provide it, they'll create their own entertainment, sometimes at our expense. The boat interactions may be a symptom of a deeper issue: understimulated, highly intelligent animals. No matter the motive, this behavior is risky, especially for the orcas. With only about 40 Iberian orcas left, every individual is vital. Ramming boats can lead to injuries, broken teeth, cuts, or worse. A single injury to a key orca could be catastrophic for the population. There's also the risk of human retaliation, which could escalate the conflict. These orcas already face threats from food shortages, pollution, and noise. Adding boat interactions to the mix is dangerous. Scientists are racing to understand and manage the situation before it's too late. For sailors, knowing how to respond is crucial. The best advice: stay calm, stop the boat, and let go of the wheel, removing the game element for the orcas. In many cases, this passive approach leads the orcas to lose interest and swim away. Scientists and groups like Orca Iberica are using GPS tags and real-time reports to create risk maps, helping sailors avoid active orca areas. This proactive strategy protects both boats and whales. The saga of the Iberian orcas is a reminder of their intelligence and adaptability. Our job isn't to punish, but to understand and adapt, respecting their space and supporting research. Only then can we hope to coexist peacefully with these remarkable, mysterious orcas.